Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my movie library. I'm Mr. Macabre, and it's great to have you here. Okay, I got a new movie on 4K that I wanted to talk about, and I'm probably going to go off into a little bit of a tangent here. I hope you'll forgive me. You already know what movie I'm going to talk about, but we'll get to that in just a second. Just real quick, if I could show you. Picked up 3 vinyl soundtracks at my local record shop. I went down to that was the thing, I was like, you already know I'm going to talk about Pretty in Pink on 4K. And I pre ordered these at my record shop because I could get them cheaper than ordering them off of Amazon. So I went down to pick them up and I was looking through some of their records. And I managed to pick up 3 vinyl soundtracks that I'm actually pretty happy about. So if I could just show you real quick. Numero uno, we have the soundtrack for Apocalypse Now. This is pretty cool. I really need to get you tell I really need to get some better record sleeves, protective sleeves. Put these in. Not a bad price though, $4.99. The records are in really good condition. So yeah, you see there's a little wear and tear on this. It is older, but the records itself, just a little bit of dust on them, like wipe them down, they'll be good to go. So I thought that was cool. I like Apocalypse Now. Definitely not my favorite war movie or anything like that, but I do like it, and so kind of cool to get the soundtrack of it. I thought that was awesome. So for $5 too, come on. And of course, if the records were really damaged and everything, I definitely would have skipped over it. This one might seem a little bit controversial, but I got the vinyl again. Really gross looking sleeves. I need to get some better ones. For $4.99, I got the soundtrack for 9.5 weeks. I know this probably seems a little bit controversial, but the thing is if you look at a lot of the songs here, you really got some good stuff on here. You got let's see here, where's it at? Joe Cocker, You Can Leave Your Hat On. Brian Ferry, Slave to Love. Let's see, I Do What I Do. So yeah, I mean, yeah. And you gotta, okay, here's the thing, $4.99. But here's the thing, okay, what can I tell you? When I was a kid of the 80s and growing up in the 80s, Kim Basinger was just one of my absolute fantasy dream girls. To me, Kim Basinger was just the bomb. I mean, especially, she was Vicky Vale in Batman, and that scene, you know what scene I'm talking. If you ever saw the movie My Stepmother is an Alien, you know the scene I'm talking about. And just Kim Basinger just really just blew me out of my socks and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, right here, and the record is actually in pretty good condition. It says some dust on it, but just wipe it down. It's in good condition. It's ready to go. So happy about that. So 9.5 weeks. And this one here was $10, but I had some bonus points saved up, so I actually got it for 5. Happy about this. And this one does have some wear and tear on the cover, but I'm just happy to have it. Ghostbuster soundtrack. So definitely, I've been wanting to get this for a long time, and yeah, it's got some wear and tear on it, but you know what? The record itself is excellent condition. I'm happy. It's got some dust on it, but I cleaned it off, and we'll be good to go. So yeah, finally glad to get the Ghostbuster soundtrack. So, but yeah, I really do need to get some better protective sleeves for these. You can tell these have been through it. So okay, so get to the real reason we're here today. Thanks to Paramount, we have John Hughes's 1980 whatever 86 80, oh wait 86, okay, sorry, 86, basically, I don't want to say rom-com, it's not really a rom-com, but his film Pretty in Pink came out on 4K today. And this is a movie, I always liked it, and I was always a John Hughes fan. Like I just said a few minutes ago, I was a kid of the 80s, and growing up, one of the big things growing up was John Hughes movies. Every time you turn around, there was a new John Hughes movie. Either, he wrote and or directed a lot of movies. The man was very prolific as a writer. He did so many movies that I watched growing up. He was a very intricate part of my childhood. And Pretty in Pink was a movie I watched. I even used to have the soundtrack on audio cassette. Unfortunately, it got ruined over time. But anyway, so yeah, we got Pretty in Pink. Here we go. You know, classic Molly Ringwald movie. Not much for bonus features. Filmmaker focus. Director Howard Deutsch on Deutsch on Pretty in Pink. The Lost Dance, the original ending, original theatrical trailer. So here we go. And, you know, nothing too heavy. You did get a digital code with this. And, you know, should somebody give you the digital code for this edition, when you redeem it, you should be able to get the 4K version. That's what I got when I redeemed my code. And there we go. Very basic, very simple. Pretty much the same thing as a slipcover. It's a nice slipcover, though. It's kind of nice. Nice glossy look to it and everything, so I like it. And then, here we go. And like I said, very, very basic. There we go. Blue for the Blu-ray, black for the 4K. Pretty standard for, most of the time it's pretty standard for Paramount 4Ks. And, you know, just a really good movie, and I've always liked it. Definitely kind of a haves versus the have-nots kind of story. A love story, you know. I could say, yeah, I would say, you know, I don't see why you couldn't watch this. I mean, you know, Valentine's Day is only going to be in a couple of days, so I think you could probably watch it then. Really good cast. The only problem is like rewatching it a little while ago. Excuse me. Quality entertainment, everybody. But watching it a little while ago, it's like when I was a little kid, I guess it's because I was a kid, I didn't really understand relationships and how relationships worked. And I was always amused by John Cryer character Ducky. Now when I watch, it's like he's very psychotic. You know, I mean, he's very pushy. He's almost stalkerish when it comes to his feelings for Andy. You know, just kind of like, wow, you know, it's kind of different when you look back on it. But, you know, I think that's one of the main reason I liked him is the scene where James Spader's character tells Andrew McCarthy that, you know, Molly Ringwald's character is just a piece of trash and she's no good, never was, never will be, and all this stuff. And then Ducky, John Cryer's character, you know, waylays on James Spader to defend her. I think to me, that was like his redeemable quality, was that even though he was a little bit too fanatical about Andy, he, you know, at the very least, you know, he would stand up for her. When anybody would insult her or put her down, he would stand up for her. Molly Ringwald, I think, did a great job. And it's kind of sad that, you know, her collaborations with John Hughes didn't continue. I think they had a falling out of some sort. I did watch a documentary a while back on John Hughes. It was on the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles special edition Blu-ray. And, you know, apparently there were two actors that John Hughes felt really inspired by, and he wanted to write and create roles for them. I think there were others too, like Anthony Michael Hall. But Molly Ringwald was one. He thought she was a brilliant talent, and, you know, thought she was amazing. He wanted to keep writing roles for her. From my understanding, I think Leah Thompson's character in Some Kind of Wonderful was originally meant for Molly Ringwald to play it, but that didn't happen. I know that Anthony Michael Hall, him and Hughes had a falling out. The story that I heard was that originally Hughes wrote Ferris Bueller's Day Off for Anthony Michael Hall to play Ferris Bueller. But yeah, he did have certain actors. He wanted to keep writing roles for them. Molly Ringwald was one, and John Candy was another. So yeah, he would love to keep writing roles and everything for John Candy to play. So, but yeah, this is a good movie, and nowadays I'm sure that there are guys like they would watch this movie, and, you know, there is such an emphasis on the fact that Andrew McCarthy's character is this kind of rich kid, and that, you know, Molly Ringwald's character is a girl, kind of like a poor girl from the wrong side of the tracks kind of thing. And I'm sure nowadays a lot of people would not go along with their relationship in the movie. They'd probably be like, "Oh my God, man, you know, she's poor. She just with him for the money. She's a gold digger." Even though, like, you really don't get that at all by watching the movie. But anyway, though, still, really enjoyed this movie. It's definitely one of John Hughes' more serious films. I mean, we all know John Hughes more for, being funny, his comedy films. And, this is when he went into his teen phase, when he was doing his teen movies. And, and I think it's funny, though, that now, that was the thing, like I said, as a kid in the 80s growing up, watching John Hughes comedies and stuff like that. And, the teen movies, like, everybody thought those were, well done teen films. Of course, nowadays, a lot of people are like, those movies are problematic. They don't hold up. There are issues with them and stuff like that. And I guess I can't complain about that because I just said, that I thought that John Crier's character was a little kind of psychotic in the way he plays Ducky. But anyway, still, we got it on 4K. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. The transfer is really not going to blow you out of your socks. It looks okay. It's definitely watchable. There's, there's a good level of grain all the way through. But, I know a lot of people hated that they believe that they used AI when they did the 4K transfer for planes, trains, and automobiles. You get none of that here. The picture, just the colors and stuff in the movie just don't really pop. It just kind of looks blah. It's just not going to blow you out of your chair. There's nothing really that stands out. There's nothing that's really going to catch your eye. To be honest with you, it's just The sound quality is good. Do you have? I believe you have Dolby Atmos. Well, you have DTS HD, so it's probably 5.1 or 2.0. But anyway, though, still, we got this movie on 4K, and the price was right. I only paid $22.99 for it plus tax. I consider it a pretty, for a 4K and everything. I don't feel like I really wasted my money. I don't feel like I overspent. I figured $22.99 for a 4K is a good, reasonable price. But I wanted to get this movie, here's where I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent. One of the reasons why I kind of backed away from doing 4K releases, number one, is just there's so much stuff coming out, and I can't keep on top of all of it. And also, too, there's way too much competition out there now. There are channels, they can get this stuff in, like, weeks ahead of time, and, they can get the reviews out and all that stuff. So by the time I could get around, I'm paying for this stuff out of my own pocket. So by the time I pick it up, it's on release day. I'm not getting it like 2 weeks in advance or whatever. I'm not getting that. I get it when I can get it. So it's just, I couldn't afford all. It's way too expensive. I couldn't afford all this stuff, so I couldn't jump on everything. I really had to limit myself to how many 4Ks I could get, what I can afford, things like that. So so I just kind of backed away from all that. It's like, you know what, you got all these other guys that are out there, doing the 4K reviews and all that kind of stuff. Let them do it. I'll talk about when I can afford a good 4K and I get one and, I can talk about it and stuff like that. I'll do that. But one thing that bugs me, though, is I am getting irritated by seeing these videos popping up where, some of these big YouTube channels and stuff, like now they're making these videos talking about you need to get, this is the thing. We have 4K, we have DVD, all this stuff. We need to get rid of, Blu-ray, get Blu-ray out of the picture and all that kind of stuff. It's like, well, I don't agree with that because, for one thing, there are a number of movies that, as far as we know, are never going to get a 4K release. Or if they are, it's going to take forever for it to happen. You watch Planet CHH's channel, he's talking about that there's a chance we may never get a 4K of, George Romero's Day of the Dead. And these other companies, it's like, even though they can, in some instances, they just don't want to. So, it was like that deal a while back when Kino Lorber got the rights to the Sleepaway Camp movies, and they didn't want to do anything with them. They didn't want to put them out in 4K. They didn't even want to do Blu-rays of them. They ended up giving the rights to another company. Another company put out Blu-rays of Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3. You know? And then on top of it too, it's like, okay, well, if we got rid of Blu-ray and all that kind of stuff, here's the problem. When movies like this get put out on 4K, not all of them, but a good number of 4K collectors come out and they fucking bitch about movies like this getting 4K releases and saying they don't deserve it and everything else. And to me, that's the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard. It's like, why? Why shouldn't a movie like Pretty in Pink get a 4K release? Why shouldn't John Hughes movies get... Because it's comedy? I've said it before, I'll say it again, you know, it's like the damn genre of a movie doesn't really matter. It shouldn't matter. Okay? It's like, it should be the way the movie's made, the way the movie was shot. You know, will the movie, regardless of the genre of the film, will the movie benefit from a 4K release? Okay? Admittedly, okay, Pretty in Pink didn't exactly blow away on 4K, but you know what? I'm still glad we got it. Because I would hate to sit there and think that, you know, some filmmakers' works will be appreciated on 4K while others don't. So you're going to sit here and say, yeah, James Cameron's movies deserve to be on 4K, but John Hughes movies don't deserve to be? It's like, who the hell are you to make that decision? You know? And it's like, I would love to get a lot of my favorite filmmakers' movies on 4K. And John Hughes, I actually wouldn't mind getting all his movies on 4K. I'm behind on some of them. I need to catch up. But, you know, again, this is a man whose movies I grew up watching. And even if it's not going to be, you know, like Star Wars level or anything like that, I'm still down to get his movies on 4K. I think his movies should get a 4K release. Another thing is, though, too, it's like, okay, well, on the one hand, you guys are raising hell about we need to get more 4Ks out. But then whenever they put more 4Ks out, all you do is bitch and complain about what movies are being put out. Here's something to understand, though. Okay? Now, granted, there are a few stragglers still out there that should be getting a 4K release and stuff like that. I admit that. But here's the problem. You're basically saying that the movies that should get a 4K release are the big budget spectacle movies, and, you know, the ones that are, you know, very visually dazzling and have lots of special effects and lots of set pieces and everything else, grand locations, all this other kind of stuff. Here's the problem. Most of those movies already have 4K releases. All your big franchises already got 4K releases. I mean, granted, I know that there are some out there. It's like, okay, what about this movie? What about that movie? You know, this and the other. Like, yeah, but here's the problem. You know, it's like, okay, well, even though it's in a really crappy set, the Superman movie's got a 4K set. The Batman movies are all on 4K. Star Wars movies are on 4K. Lord of the Rings are on 4K. The Dune movies are on 4K. You know, Fast and the Furious are on 4K. All your Marvel movies are on 4K. Pretty much all your DC movies are on 4K. Do you understand that at some point it's just going to hit the point where all you're going to be able to get are John Hughes movies, or comedies, or horror films, or dramas, you know, or westerns? I think I heard, who is it, Slipcover Steve or somebody was talking about, you know, like the dumbest thing in the world is like to put westerns on 4K. Who the hell are you to make that decision? Just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean other people won't. It's like, oh my God. And that's the thing, like, that's one of the things what kind of drove me out of the whole thing was just, I was so sick of hearing all this crap. Westerns don't deserve to get a 4K. Comedies, teen movies, dramas, they don't deserve to get a 4K. It's like, well, what the hell are you going to do when you don't have any big spectacle movies to put on 4K? What then? You just stop putting movies on 4K? What? It's going to get to a point, it's pretty much already there. Like I said, most of your big, visually dazzling spectacle films are already on 4K. I don't know what you're going to do. Just sit and wait for the next one to come out? And that's the thing, you know, it's like, you know, studios could do better. I admit that. Boutique companies, they're doing what they can with what they got. Okay? I think a lot of them are trying. It doesn't help that there's rights problems and shit going all over the place. But boutique companies are doing what they can. Severan's putting out what they can. Vinegar Syndrome, all that kind of stuff. But then here's the problem. Whenever this stuff comes out, all people can do is fucking bitch about it. And that's one of the reasons why I was like, I'm just kind of, bleh, But I wanted to make this video basically because I was just tired of it and I just needed to vent. But I'm actually happy. I'm happy that we're actually getting stuff on 4K. Even if it is pretty in pink. Which I'm not sad that I bought this. I don't care if you want to sit here and call me a fag or something because I bought this. I don't care. It's a good movie. And I'm glad I bought it. And I got it for a good price. So yeah, now we're going to do the ritual. We're going to protect this bad boy. And I'm happy to add it to the movie library. There we go. Gotta watch out, make sure it doesn't get the slip cover. But, I don't know. You guys figure this shit out amongst yourselves. I'm happy that we're getting anything at all. I'm happy that stuff is coming out on 4K. And I'm glad to see movies that I really like getting a 4K. And now you're sitting here wanting... That's the thing. You're sitting here bitching and complaining because, you don't want movies like this getting 4K releases, but then you want them to do away with Blu-ray and do only 4Ks. Well, maybe DVDs. I was like, I don't know, man. Get your shit together. But this is it. So, yeah. Good price, good movie. I'm not at all upset that I bought this, So that's it. So if anybody took the time to watch this video, I thank you for doing it, and I appreciate you for doing it. If you liked the video, would you mind please leaving a like? And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And that's it, everybody. Take care. Have a good night. See you all later.